Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. To start off with, I'm going to tell you what card pieces you're going to need. The card base is in Whisper White and that measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. In centimetres, that's 21 centimetres by 14.5, scored and folded down the middle. A piece of real red cardstock which measures 4 inches by 5 5/8, or 10.25 centimetres by 14.25 centimetres. A Whisper White layer that measures 3 7/8 inches by 5.5 inches, which is 10 centimetres by 14 centimetres. And then you'll need some scraps of Whisper White to do the 3 hearts. I think if you have a piece that's about 4 inches by 4 inches, which is 10 centimetres by 10 centimetres, you'll be fine. I'm going to use these 2 scraps. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the hearts, and what I've done with that is I've stamped using real red ink, and then I have very quickly, before that's had a chance to dry, quickly dipped it into my clear embossing powder and then heat emboss it so that it goes shiny. Okay, so let me get everything ready. As I say, you do have to, once you've stamped, you do have to get it into the embossing powder really quickly. Now what I'm using here is clear embossing powder, and I do find having it in the container like this, when I need to do it so quickly, is really good, because once it's stamped, that's it, straight in and done. And I really should use my Embossing Buddy. Okay, so let's bring that over. Right. So the heart is coming from, let me tell you the stamp set I'm using. This is one of the new ones in the spring catalogue, and it's called First Sight, and this is what I'm using. Okay, so are we ready? But I'm just putting my fingers over that again, aren't I? Not clever. Right. As soon as it's done, quickly dunk it. You know whether it's worked or not because it goes a very pale, sort of what I would call milky red. Now that one I'm going to heat emboss first. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll cut that off. Now, is that going to be big enough to get another one on? Don't think so, is it? I'm going to get another piece of, oh, I can see a piece. I'll use that one. Yep, that'll do. So I underestimated that for myself. So let's do this one. I'm sure I tried this yesterday and I could get 2 onto one piece. I'm ready. Quick and straight in. There we go. Now, as I've got 2 separate pieces of paper here, I'm going to do the 2 stamping at the same time. That's what I thought I could do with that other piece. If I cut that off, I thought I could have done the other heart, but it obviously wasn't meant to be. There we go. Oh, there's a hair on there, look at that. Okay, let's do that one again. I'll mop that off. I'll do it on the other side. Okay, that looks alright. I'll try and put that straight on the top. Much better. Okay, so let's move that out of the way for the time being. And I'm going to heat emboss these two. There we go. Now I'm going to use the Sweetheart punch to punch these hearts out. Might have to cut, yes, I've got to cut that bottom off, that's in the way. Right. Okay, so I'm going to put those to one side for a moment. And I'm going to take my top sheet now, which is this one, and I'm going to measure halfway across the top here, which, what was this measurement? This was 5.5, so that's going to be 2 3/4, and or 7 centimetres. Okay, so 2 3/4 is about there, isn't it? 1, 2, that line, there we go. Right, with a pencil, just going to do a very little faint line up there, and I'm following it down there. Okay, so just make sure you've got all this lined up straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch the heart out, and I'm going to line that line up with that point, but you can only match it up so far. You have to push it the rest of the way and hope that you're keeping it straight. Okay, so like that, it's all lined up, and then just push it in the rest of the way straight. Okay, and you've got that pencil mark there to judge whether you're about halfway across there, which I wasn't even gripping that, was I? Just going walkabouts. Right, that looks better. Okay, so once you've got the card right the way down in here, then punch. Now to punch the other two, you just have to guess it. Where's my card? Let me bring it back so you can see how close they were. The thing is, you don't want it to come too close to the edge here, nor this side, because you could cut there, so you've got it's damaged, you'd have to go back and do another one. And this side, if you're too far over there, you can have this heart protruding over the edge. So it really is just a question of looking at it. If you wanted to measure it, obviously you could, but what I'm going to do is I'm watching this edge, and as it goes in, I am judging it so that, let me see, make sure that I can show you this properly. Let's get a dark sheet here. Alright, that's better. Can you see I've gone in about 1/8 of an inch in here? And I'm hoping that that should make me close enough to the edge without being too close to this one. So let's see. There we go, that's good. And now I need to do the same this side. Push it in as far as it will go that way, and then get it lined up so that I have about 1/8 of an inch in there. Yes, I see, you can see that. Okay. There we go, and the gaps here are more or less the same. That one's more narrow than that one, but it's close enough. It's going to be fine. Right, now before I start putting the card together, I'm going to remove my pencil marks, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with my sentiment. That is, I'm going to stamp it in real red ink, and then I'm going to dip it into my clear embossing powder as quickly as possible. Okay, so let's repeat the process. I'm doing my sentiment so that my Valentine is going up, because I feel that that looks straight. When I've tried to do it so that the Valentine is actually going straight, it looks wonky. I don't know if that makes sense, does it? Can you see that? Let me... Oh yeah, okay. So if you do it straight, it looks like that, but I feel that that doesn't look straight. I know what I mean, I hope you do. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to centre it in here. And it's quite easy, because it's one of the Photopolymer stamps. Then very quickly dunk it in. There we go. It's only recently that I discovered how this works. I've heard about it but never actually tried it. But once I've found it, I love it. It's great. There we go. So now I'm going to put my card together, and I'm going to be using Tombow for this. Okay, now this one I put flat, yes, so I'm going to put this one down with Tombow as well. position that in the centre. There we go. And then the hearts I'm going to pop on with dimensionals. And what I'm doing is I'll do 2 into the top rounded parts. And then I'm going to get some little bits that I've cut up from the remains on this one, and I'm just putting them down at the bottom. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to put that one in the middle. And I'm just offsetting it. Okay, so that I can see part of this and then a part of this up here. And then do the other two as well. Oops. And then we have one very striking Valentine card. Obviously it could be done in other colours like black and gold, that would look nice. But I hope you liked today's card. Many thanks for watching my video today. If you have any questions, please contact me because I am always happy to help you. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. And if you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, please click on the link at the bottom that will take you straight to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.